The city picked up this property over 15 years ago from the neighboring property owner up the hill with the intent at that time of building a neighborhood or regional park here on the site. And in about 2016, Jim Ballou, who was the parks director at the time, was able to put in for a RCO grant for partial funding of a park, and was successful in that grant application. RCO eventually funded about $500,000 of the design and construction of the park. And we got underway with design in 2018 with J.A. Brennan and Associates, who was an engineering and architectural design outfit. And we went through a pretty lengthy design process. The park property was a little bit challenging. Critical areas and slopes made some pretty interesting design challenges for us throughout the project. And we also had to bring the project into alignment with the city's allocated budget. So design took about 1.5 years, which is a bit longer than some projects we've done in the past. But we went out to add for this project in July of 2020, so about 1.5 years after we started design. And we were successful in our advertisement and bidding. Meisha was the low bidder for the project, Meisha Contractors. And we got underway with construction in July also of 2020. And Meisha did a great job out here. Very challenging site, very challenging construction, a lot of grading. They were able to get the park about 80% complete before the rain started in November of last year. And then we piecemealed the rest of the work in throughout the rainy season till we got to substantial completion in January of this year. And unfortunately had to go on to a small work suspension because of weather and actually COVID-related delays to materials, namely steel and wood. And then Meisha got physical completion this month with official opening on May 7th, so that everybody, all the citizens, can enjoy this beautiful park. Great views of the Olympics. Really neat views of the Quileute Estuary, which I think everybody knows about, and access to our EB Trail, which is really wonderful for the neighbors and actually pretty much anybody in this part of town. So looking forward to it being opened and seeing folks enjoy it.
Well, I'm so excited about this opening of Olympic View Park. You know, this is yet another investment in our robust parks and trail system here in Marysville. What's really neat about this is the recently constructed EB waterfront trail that so many people use on a daily or weekly basis will have access from this park to that. And so I think that's a really neat connection there. And also, you know, one of the things that's so great about that area of our community is that so many people weren't able to access it before. And with the trail that's now there and with Olympic View Park, we're opening up a whole new area of experience for our families and everybody in our community and elsewhere. As with everything else that we do here, we are so grateful for the many partnerships that helped to fund the construction of this park. I want to thank Snohomish County for their grant that helped fund this construction, the state of Washington through their Recreation Conservation Grant, and the city of Marysville, which also funded a significant portion, and that was approved by our Marysville City Council. And so really excited about this. Can't wait to see everybody out enjoying this new park.
And Olympic View Park is going to be a great regional asset for citizens throughout Snohomish County. It's a great location right off of I-5. It's access to trailhead system, a regional trailhead system in this area in North County, and it's got some great connectivity to the EB Slough and the Quileute Estuary. I know my kids and my family love going out to the EB Waterfront Trail, and I'm sure our family and others like ours are going to really enjoy Olympic View Park.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. If everybody wants to gather around, boy, it's kind of fun to actually be out at a ribbon cutting at an event. We haven't had too many of these lately, but we're starting to ramp them back up. This has been a long time coming, and first of all, I want to just say thank you to everybody here. There's been so many people that have had a hand in this, and we'll talk about that here in a bit. Also wanted to recognize all the members of the City Council that are here. If you could raise your hand. I know City Councilmember Tom King, Mark James, Steve Muller, Camille Norton, our council president, Kelly Richards, and did I miss any other council members, Michael or Jeff? Okay, and then County Councilmember Nate Nearing, thank you for coming. And Jody Condoleezza from our Parks Board, thank you for coming. And there's just so many that have had a hand in this, and we'll talk about that here in a bit. But we're here to celebrate the opening of this beautiful addition to our parks inventory, and many of you can enjoy, the view is starting to come a little bit, but come here on a crystal clear day and you'll really get a picture of it. We're thrilled to offer this access and the magnificent views of the estuary, the slough, the mountains. You know, back in 2007, the city worked with Sound Transit to buy 2 adjoining properties here as part of our Coolute restoration project, if you followed that. Recognizing the environmental value of the proposal, the City Council approved the funding to buy the additional land that would accommodate the waterfront park as well. The properties were owned by Donald Hendrickson and Sharon Roberts, and if they could raise their hand so we can recognize them, thank you for that. And we appreciate that. And Craig Fullerton represented the city in the property purchase negotiations here as well. And here we are 14 years later, and we have a beautiful park to open up, and it's just a phenomenal day to do that. Also want to extend a warm and special thanks to Donald and Alan Hendrickson and Craig and Lewis for coming today, and we appreciate all the role that you played in making this a reality. It seems like it's taken quite some time, but here we are, and so thanks for that. You'll find a number of amenities around the park: the rock scramble, the slide. I don't know who's taking the first run down the slide. It doubles as a water slide today because there's a little bit of water on it, so we'll see who wants to try that. There's interpretive signage and some off-street parking that you'll see up here. And I think, you know, one of the most important things too is the connection to the trail. This trail, if you've never had the chance to walk this side of the EB Waterfront Trail, it's really just a great experience, and it's magnificent. It's amazing, actually. I always am amazed when I walk it that this is part of city limits Marysville, or downtown Marysville in a way. You feel like you're just in a completely different area. The total project cost was $847,000. We're really grateful for the $500,000 grant that we received from Washington State. We're also very grateful for the county's partnership and a $25,000 grant that they gave as well. And then thankful also to the City Council for funding the city portion to make this happen. So a few thank yous and recognitions. First of all, thank you to our city staff and partners and contractors who planned and managed this project. Special thanks also to our Parks Board. I recognized one of our Parks Board members here. Is there anybody else from the Park Board here that I missed? But thank you to them. The design firm J.A. Brennan and Associates, the contractor Mattia and Associates, hopefully I pronounced that right, the engineering technician Dave Razor, and the project manager Adam Benton, all put a substantial, obviously, amount of work into this. And finally, also wanted to, in addition to just funding the park, the city council's played a role in preserving and this and managing this whole project throughout. And so thank you to our city council for you and your vision in doing that. Also want to thank our CAO, Gloria Hiroshima. It's been a long time vision of hers to see this become a reality, and I want to thank her personal investment in this as well. And would be remiss without thanking our Parks, Culture, and Recreation Director, Tara, who in addition to overseeing this, along with her predecessor, Jim Ballou. I remember Jim and I drove out here about 3 years ago. That's how I remembered how to kind of get out here. And it was nothing but I think it was just a pure hillside then, and we were walking down, and Jim's like, yeah, let's walk this way. It'll kind of go this way because it's really steep if you go straight down. And so thanks to Jim and Tara for all the work they put in their team, for all they put into this. I want to thank Connie and Leah too, and everybody who set up this morning. While I was in the office listening to the rain, they were out here setting up in the rain. So it looks great right now, but there's a lot of people out here in the pouring rain setting up. So thank you for that. And so I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. We look forward to a lot of people getting to visit these kind of ribbon cuttings. Due to COVID, we're somewhat limited. Usually we invite a lot more folks, but a lot of people will be able to get out here soon. So I'd like to invite, as we do the ribbon cutting, our city council members to come up: CAO Gloria Hiroshima, Tara from Parks, Culture, and Recreation Director, and our city council members, and project manager Adam Benton. If you could come up as well, get behind this ribbon, and then maybe we'll do a countdown and a ribbon cut.
We haven't used these in a while, so I remember one of my first ribbon cuttings, they didn't work. It wasn't this pair, but hopefully they're still sharp after a year off. Let's count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo!